Peace, y'all. I want to come on really quickly because I was just sitting earlier and having, conversations with myself as I talked often to myself. It's a gift. But as I was sitting and talking to myself this rising, I had a aha moment, and it's been a long time since I got into um, metaphysics and teaching. Life is really heavy for me right now, and a lot of it has to do with the scripture that I want to get into today. So let's get into a little metaphysics, shall we? The scripture today that I want to pull from is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, I believe. Nonetheless, the scripture is um, when we hear the saying, God won't put any more on you than you can bear, what is the frame of thought that comes to mind? For me, this morning, um, I feel that is less about the experiences that we're having, because life will always be a collection of experiences. I talked and taught a lot over the last years about the mind, especially dealing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and how they both relate to the generators that we are having this human experience. We are the generators generating the experience. We are not the experience. We are in the experience, learning, whichever the lesson is that we curated for ourselves during our incarnation here, wherever you find yourself to be. And so when I hear or I think now on the scripture that God won't put any more on you than you can bear, I think it's less about the physical um, burdens of life and more so about the memory and the mind. And when we think about the burdens and God not putting more on you, I think that it relates to memory. And how we hold memory, how we perceive memory, and how we transmute and transform those memories. And so, what I am sitting with today is, understanding that those burdens are the memories that come up. And when the scripture talked about God not putting more on us than we can bear, I think that that bearing and the not bearing is what sits in the subconscious mind, because it's really in the subconscious mind where we're curating our experiences. It's really in the subconscious mind that we forget. It's where we store those memories that the body feel are too unsafe to engage in. And so when memories, come up for you, know that that is to me the scripture of God not putting more on you than you can bear. And when those memories come up, I feel like that is the universe's way of saying, okay, you're ready to deal. You may have acquired the tools to deal. I'll use myself for example. I am in a season, I'm 38, and I am in a season of where I am learning a lot about my childhood and traveling back in time, um, and being forced to deal with the memories as it relates to my own trauma. One of those memories that came up a few years ago for me was um, the aha moment that I don't remember my grandmother's funeral, or rather, the memory of her being me standing at the threshold or the church doors of her funeral and everything going black. And now having those memories resurface and figuring out um, what they mean being able to see those memories and their full totality, because the burden at that time was too heavy to carry, while also now dealing with the burden of figuring out the circumstances of the funeral and the family dynamics during that time. And so God won't put more on you than you can bear. And that scripture to me is the memory and the mind, or the mind and the memory. And your subconscious carries those burdens. Your subconscious curates those burdens to feeling so real to you in memory, that they feel so real to you in your environment. And I want to encourage you that if those burdens, or those memories, or your subconscious mind is coming back or up to sit with you, it's because God is telling you that you can handle it now. You can make sense of it. They're not going to injure you. Because our minds determine what is scary in this reality and what is safe. And for a lot of us growing up, safety was a figment within our imaginations that we had to curate, because the environments around us weren't safe. And so being a 38-year-old woman, now having to really deal with the memories of those subconscious thoughts that I acquired, from childhood through adolescence, into becoming an adult, and now figuring out what womanhood looks like to me. And for me, it is God won't put more on you than you can bear. And if those memories and those, or the burdens, or the memories of the burdens are coming up to sit with you, sit with them. Because it's going to help you make sense of your reality, of the reality that you're currently sitting in. And those memories aren't going to feel good. There's a lot of times and a lot of days that I've been finding myself crying, not being able to get out of bed, and lost in the memories of my trauma, and lost in the memories of those burdens. And the scripture that came up for me today is God won't put more on you than you can bear. And bearing doesn't have to mean burdensome. It simply means you have the tools to carry. You have the tools to carry those burdens. They don't have to overtake you. They don't have to overrun you or outrun you within your own experience. And those burdens, or those memories, or those subconscious mind is also where we curate our current realities that we find ourselves in. And so, in a sense, we got to get a hold of those burdens. We got to get a hold of those memories, in order to ensure that the life that you're curating in that subconscious mind is playing out exactly as you desired, and not something that you'll have to pray your way out of. And so God won't put more on us than we can bear. And if you're bearing it, that means it's time to deal with your memories, so that your memories are not curating your present and your future. So sit with that, y'all. And until next time.